Good morning from Disneyland. I just made it through security. We are here. It is 7:15 in the morning. Now everybody thinks the park's open at 8. They actually let you in either park around 7:30. So we are here early because we are doing a testing strategy today. I'm with my friend Melissa, and we are going to show you how you should or should not do Rise of the Resistance. I get asked all the time, should we do Rise of the Resistance at rope drop? And I'm going to show you why I personally don't think it's a good idea. But we're also going to talk about ways that you can do Rise of the Resistance if you're coming this early in the morning. But there's a strategy, and really, we're just here to help you. So I want to show you already. 7:15. These are the lines to get in to Disneyland. Okay, so even getting here this early, we're not going to be one of the first ones in to get lined up for Rise of the Resistance. So rope drop is they're going to have a rope up, and they literally hold you until 8 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock they let you go into Galaxy's Edge and get in the line. At this point, so 7:15 is when we got here. We'll get through the gates and we'll go get lined up. But it's going to depend on how far back we are from the rope. What we're going to do today is we're going to show you the difference. I'm actually not going to get in line to try and even rope drop until closer to 8. So we can show you how important it is to get here super early, because that's when you'll have the advantage of the other people that are just now showing up. They're going to be able to get in the line, but man, the longer you wait and the closer to 8 o'clock that you get here, the longer you're going to have to wait in the line for Rise of the Resistance. So I'm going to document everything. Melissa's going to document everything, and then we're going to put the videos together so you guys can see if it's worth it to try and get in the line and do Rise of the Resistance or rope drop or not.
Here we go. This is my friend Chantel, magical tour guide.
And this is Melissa with Mix In Some Magic. And we're here today to do our testing strategy for
Rise of the Resistance.
And are we going to make it? Of course we're going to make it, but we want to kind of show you why maybe it's not such a good idea, but things that are going to help if you do decide you want to do it. It is a Tuesday morning, and it's already busy, and it's the holiday season, so this is a good time to test this.
Yep. Okay, do you feel confident?
I'm confident because I'm not trying to get in the line quickly. I'm just trying to show people, if you don't get here early, why it's probably not a good idea to try and do this. But you're going to show them why it is a good plan. If you have a good plan, it does work.
We'll see. I hope it works, because early entry, they're going to be in front of me. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yep.
It's Melissa in her black Mickey cap. She's off. She's going to go get to the front of that rope. I'm going to show you all the steps, but it is 7:25.
I'm going to hustle up to the entrance of Frontierland so that I can get as close to the rope as possible. And Chantel's going to be a little bit behind me. She's going to do the same thing. Here we go.
At 7:25, they let you in the gates. Disneyland is not officially open until 8 o'clock today, but they let you in, and they're going to let us in until certain points. It's called rope drop. Certain points of the park where you will stand and you will wait for attractions. She's waiting for Rise of the Resistance. I'm also going to show you where you don't want to line up if you are going to Rise of the Resistance. And let me just do a little bit of Main Street vibes for you as we head towards the castle on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this sign right here, early entry. All of those guests on that side are hotel guests. So they're either staying at the Disneyland Hotel, Disney's Grand California Adventure, or Pixar Place. They get on rides in Tomorrowland and in Fantasyland early at 7:30. So they're going to do rides, but they will not be able to get in line for Rise of the Resistance. We will have the same opportunity as them, but they will have a closer rope drop spot. So they will actually be lined up over by Red Rose Tavern, and they'll be able to get on the attraction a little bit faster than regular day guests. So keep that in mind on early entry days. Early entries on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, currently at the Disneyland Park. All right, we are here at the end of Main Street. There's a rope over there for people going to Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, people right here going to Fantasyland, and over here, people who are going to, let's see, we've got Adventureland over there, and then over here we've got Frontierland, and this is the entrance you're gonna want to go to. This is the rope you wanna line up at if you wanna go on Rise of the Resistance. Do not go over there to the Adventureland rope. Some people make that mistake. I'll show you why you don't wanna do that. This is the rope that you wanna line up, and let me show you the rope, and I'll show you where Melissa is. And look, they have a sign if you made it to rope drop. Okay, and here's literally the rope. They are going to drop, and we are right here in front of the castle. So this is rope drop. There's a rope right here, and then you see all these people who are lined up, and this is where we're headed, to Frontierland, to Rise of the Resistance. Just want to show you how far Melissa got to the ropes. She is right up in front of the ropes, and we've got Adventureland here and Frontierland. Again, like I said, you don't want to line up here at Adventureland and go, because the line, it takes you all the way back and down. You don't want to go that way if you're trying to do Rise. If you're trying to do Rise of the Resistance, you definitely want to be here at the rope in front of Frontierland. Let me show you where Melissa is. Look, there's Melissa. Okay, she is like, what, maybe 3 rows back from the rope. But she's right here. She's gonna go that direction, and she's heading to Rise of the Resistance. We're gonna wish her luck. Now, in the meantime, because we're gonna pretend like I didn't get out of bed, or I didn't get the kids ready in time, and we didn't make it here for entrance into the park at 7:25. What if we don't get here until 8 o'clock? I'm gonna show you why it's so important to get here early, and what it looks like when you get here, when you think, okay, I did it, I got here at 8 o'clock. But I'm going to show you why that's still a bad idea if the purpose is to get on Rise of the Resistance. Now, if you just want to go on Fantasyland rides, or you want to go on Indiana Jones or Big Thunder Mountain, getting here at 8 o'clock for rope drop is just fine. This is only for testing purposes, to show you how important it is to be here super early if Rise of the Resistance is your goal for rope drop. It is now 7:33, and you can see how that has filled in. We're gonna wait another 20 minutes before I actually get in the line. I'm gonna show you how much busier and more crowded it gets. But let me show you what people are doing over here. So people right here are lined up, probably going to Fantasyland, to Peter Pan. Another attraction I do not recommend that you run to in the morning, because if you look way back there, those are people already going into Fantasyland. Those are early entry guests. They get to be in line for Peter Pan before all of these people. You're going to be wasting 45 minutes of your morning in line. Come over here and show you this rope. So this is the Tomorrowland rope. These people are probably going to maybe Alice in Wonderland, to Matterhorn, maybe Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. If they're going that way, then they're probably going to Space Mountain. That's probably their goal. But again, I wanted to just show you there. Here's the rope, and this is what it means for rope drop. Now, see guests over there? These are early entry guests that are already in the park on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. These are the people who are being held at rope drop. It is now 7:52, and look how it has filled in for every land. People go on to Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and look, this is completely full now, headed over to Adventureland and Frontierland. So just an idea, it's not even 8 o'clock. We're gonna pretend like I get here about 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna literally just be right here on Main Street and walk up and decide to go on Rise of the Resistance, because I had a plan this morning, and my plan was to go on Rise of the Resistance, and maybe we didn't get out of bed or whatever the circumstances. But I want to show you how crucial it is to be here early, because if you're not here early, if you're just getting here right at 8 o'clock, how long you're going to have to wait in that line. That is a waste of precious early morning hours in the park. We're going to see how much Melissa can get done. On the other hand, we're going to compare and share videos. She's going to get on Rise of the Resistance, and then she's going to go on and see how many rides she can do before I even get on the ride and get off. So can we see Melissa waving over there? Can you see her hand? She's way over there waving. And these are people coming in, and they have the right idea. They're here for rope drop. It's about 7:58. This is rope drop. This is the song that comes on, and there'll be an announcement.
Season's greetings, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the merriest place on earth. We're happy to have you as our guest today, and especially glad you could join us during this holiday season. Whether it's being together with family and friends, or the joy of giving and receiving presents, the holidays are a special time for children of all ages. And so we hope that your visit with us today will be a most pleasant one, and that the joy and festivity of this season will be yours in abundance. For your safety and those around you, we ask that you walk slowly and carefully to your first destination. From all of us at Disneyland, happy holidays.
I'm going to follow this mass crowd in, and I'm going to head to Galaxy's Edge. So if you were to have gotten here just now at 8 o'clock for rope drop and your decision was to go to Rise of the Resistance, let's see how that's going to work out. So this is the way that you're going to go if you want to do Rise of the Resistance. You go through Frontierland, and look at all these people that are ahead of me. Let's see how we do. Not like rushing, I'm just walking with the crowd. We are headed to Galaxy's Edge. I just overheard a mom saying to her kid, we're going to do one really long line and then the rest of the day we're just going to chill in short lines. Hey, we're just following the crowds here. Heading into Galaxy's Edge. I mean, it makes sense. You want to go on this ride. It's the beginning of the morning. You think you're doing everything right. And you can do everything right, but you have to be here really early for this to make sense. At this point, I'm going to go get in this line, and I'm going to waste maybe 45 minutes to an hour of the morning when I could get so many other rides done. And I think that's what people don't understand, and that's just kind of what we're trying to educate and help people to understand, that it's more efficient with your time to wait till later to go on this attraction. Melissa just sent me this video. It is 8:06 and she is in the line to get on the attraction. And I'll show you in the next video. I'm barely getting to the end of the line to get in line for the ride. Oh, wow. Okay, this is the end of the line. Here is the cast member holding the sign that says end of the line. We're gonna get in line. Okay, these people that are coming this direction right here, right now, they went through Adventureland. That's why you don't go through Adventureland, because they had to come all the way down the trail, and now they're at the very end of the line, and they wasted a whole bunch of time this morning trying to get in this line. They should have gone through Frontierland. And Melissa has arrived at the showroom. It is 8:11. She is officially starting the attraction. It is 8:15 and we are still moving, but look at all the people still behind me. That says 50 minutes, and I just looked in the app and it says it's a 50-minute wait. So we're gonna time it from here. It's 8:15. So at this point, people are just walking through the line. So it is moving, but it's still gonna take us a little while to get on the ride.
All right, it's almost 8:30 and I am off the ride. Still, I only waited 6 minutes to the pre-show, but it took me 30 minutes to like walk down to the ride, wait in the line, go on the ride, and 6 minutes is awesome, but that's a big chunk of rope drop time that I feel like could maybe be better used in a different way. Chantel is still in line. We'll meet up with her later and see how her rope drop went. I still think there are better times that you can ride Rise of the Resistance. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but right now I want to hit some other rides while it's still rope drop time and lines are still low, so I'm gonna go do that.
It is 8:27 and I just got word from Melissa that she just got off the ride. So it took her almost 30 minutes and I am in a tunnel here waiting in the attraction line. We'll see how much longer this takes me. It is 8:33. We are in the showroom.
Prep the ready room for recruits. Tell them it's a prisoner transfer. Did it work? Good. Now get a move on.
Well, it is 8:55 and I just got off the attraction. So that took just about an hour. By the time I got in line and through the attraction, about an hour. So you've got to decide now, is this how you want to spend your first hour of the morning? And if it is, great. But I just want to show you that Melissa, it only took her 25 minutes because she was at the very beginning of the rope. It really makes a difference if you can get here super early and get on the ride and get right in line, because she just walked basically onto the ride. That 25 minutes was going through the line and getting onto the attraction and then getting off. She got off at 8:25. I got off at 8:55. Now I'm gonna go meet up with her and we're going to talk a little bit about what we did and what happened. and then you can decide for yourself what you would like to do. My thoughts are, as far as in the morning, spending an hour waiting in line for this ride, I could spend an hour later in the day when lines are going to be long for a lot of the attractions. I would rather spend an hour later in the day in that line than at first thing in the morning when I could do 3 or 4 rides in Fantasyland, or I could do Space Mountain, Matterhorn, Big Thunder Mountain, or you could do Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones, Big Thunder Mountain. I mean, and those lines are going to get longer as the day goes on. So it's just got kind of like a strategy thing. You've got to decide where you want to spend your time in the morning. But if you're going to do Rise of the Resistance, please get here early. Be one of the first ones on the attraction.
We did it.
We did! All right, how did it go, Melissa?
I have thoughts and feelings. I hustled, like really hustled. It was, my calves were burning. I was just doing everything I could to keep up with all these people, but I was still farther back than I wanted to because of early entry. So I'm coming around the corner and I can see just tons of early entry people streaming in.
So the early entry people beat you.
By like 60 to 90 seconds, and there were tons of them that were heading that way, and there's just no way around it. So if it had not been an early entry day, I probably would have been able to be closer to the front. But as it was, I was still very close. I only waited 6 minutes to the pre-show, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I still have thoughts and feelings. Okay, we'll talk about it in a minute.
What time did you get off of the ride?
About 8:30.
About 8:30. Okay,
Yep.
so I was behind all that crowd, and you saw videos of that, and I just followed people in, and as I got in there, we got in line, and I felt really bad because there was this family in front of me, and they were like, is this how long the line is? They're like, how long do you think this is going to be? And I said, probably like 45 minutes. And they were trying to decide whether to bail, and I thought, man, if they'd only had the tools and knew ahead of time. So by the time I got into the line, the app said 50 minutes, and the wait time, like right as you go merge into the line, said 50 minutes. I got off of the attraction at 8:55. So it took me 55 minutes to get in the line, to walk through the line, do the pre-show, do the ride, and I was off at 8:55.
Now, as I was entering into Rise of the Resistance, like going into the actual queue, then there were people who had gone the long way. They had gone by Haunted Mansion and Hungry Bear and kind of looped around, thinking that it would be faster for them to get in line that way. And that's where the attraction is, but then they have to walk back all the way past the whole huge line that's already formed to the back. And these people were trying to just sneak in right up to the front where everybody was kind of merging. The cast members were not having it. They were stopping people and sending them back to the end of the line. And some of the people were pretty upset, but I mean, you gotta go to the end. You can't just cut in the middle, and that is definitely an even longer way to get to Rise of the Resistance.
And the problem is on the map, people look at the app and they look at the map and the ride is over here and they think, okay, we're gonna go this way to the ride, but you have to go this way because the line winds around back to the back. So yeah, you definitely don't go through that, the Adventureland side. But I had people who were in Frontierland and I watched them. We went through Frontierland and I veered off to go to Big Thunder Mountain area to go through Galaxy's Edge, and they went around still the wrong way to get through Galaxy's Edge. So even if you go through Frontierland, make sure you veer off towards Big Thunder and go around that way. So I got off the attraction at 8:55. Melissa, what were you able to do from the time you got off the ride?
So when I got off the ride, I was hoping to hit some other short wait times, so I went over to Indiana Jones. So that one always gets long later in the day. I got in line for that, and I waited 20 minutes, which isn't bad.
Right.
But I still felt like, man, if I had rope dropped Indiana Jones, I would have waited half that time.
True.
And then I could have hit Jungle Cruise and Matterhorn and done a bunch of other things in that time. Instead, I was waiting in line only 6 minutes for Rise, but by the time I walked down there and I waited my 6 minutes and went on the ride, it was a whole 30-minute process. And I just still don't think it's a good use of rope drop time.
A good use of that early morning hour when you can get so many other things done. So in the hour time frame, I feel like that I was in line, and on the attraction, that was an hour of my day that you could spend from 3 to 4 in the afternoon or 7 to 8 in the evening in line for Rise of the Resistance, and in the morning do attractions that are going to have a really long wait time later in the day. You could have gone Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones, Big Thunder Mountain. You could have done Space Mountain, Matterhorn, Alice in Wonderland. I mean, there's so many things you could have done in that 1 hour time frame that I feel like even if you do have all the right things in your setup, I mean, Melissa did it all correct and did it right, but she still wasted. We kind of feel like just in general, Rise of the Resistance still isn't a great option for a rope drop early in the morning.
No, because you didn't save any time. You could show up literally, like you said, at 4 in the afternoon when lines are the very longest, and you would have waited the same amount of time for Rise. It just makes zero sense, especially when we know an awesome ride hack for riding Rise, that you'll only wait a short amount of time. That's what I want to tell you about.
All right, let's talk about that. What's your hack, Melissa?
Okay, my hack is you get in line for Rise of the Resistance right before the attraction closes, not before the park closes.
Right.
Because Rise of the Resistance closes 1 to 2 hours before the rest of the attractions in the park, and a lot of people don't realize this. So I checked the app. Tonight it closes at 10 p.m. So if I were to get in line at 9:55 or 9:50, I can still ride Rise of the Resistance. As long as you're in line before the attraction closes, you get to ride. But at that point, they stop letting in lightning lanes, they stop letting in people with disability passes, rider switch, all those things, and they just work off the standby line, and so it moves really quickly. So whenever I do it, I usually end up waiting like 15-20 minutes total, which isn't bad at all, and it's dark, so it's not hot, and it works out really, really well. Plus, by that time of night, I've done everything else that I want to do for the whole day, and then I don't feel like I'm wasting other valuable time like I did today with rope dropping.
That is a good point. My only thing with that is if kids, like families have kids, young kids that they've got to take home and it's 10 o'clock, it's too late to go on an attraction, then my hack, or I found has worked, is everybody rushes to that ride between, like, you know, in the morning, they think they're rope dropping it. So from 8 to about 10 o'clock, that line is really long. So finally, by the time all those rope drop people get out of the line, then the line time dips. And so between like 10 and 11, then check the app and see how long the wait time is then. Once you've done a whole bunch of attractions in your first 2 hours of the morning, then go do Rise.
Oh my gosh, look. I'm just looking at Rise of the Resistance right now. 40 minutes. It's a 40-minute wait now. It's 9:30, so it's even shorter than it was when
I was in
were
line.
in line for it.
Yeah.
It was 50 minutes then, so it's already going down. So the first hour is definitely the very worst time you can ride it ever.
Yeah, try and get in line for it. So those are our thoughts. Hopefully this helps you make a decision how you want to do Rise of the Resistance, because we know it's on a lot of people's lists and they want to get it done. The only other way to ride it is you can also pay for a Lightning Lane single pass, and that ranges from, I don't know, $20 to $25 a day.
Expensive.
And that could be expensive for a family. So anyway, you decide, but hopefully you've enjoyed this, and follow along on both our channels. I'm Magical Tour Guide.
I'm Make Sense of Magic.
And we're so happy you're here. Thanks for joining us.